Financial gurus often focus on the finish line, telling you that $1 million or a six-figure salary is the only way to feel secure. But the mechanics of wealth building actually shift at a much smaller milestone. Before you hit $20,000, every step feels like pushing a boulder up a steep hill against the full force of gravity. When your savings are at or near zero, your brain enters survival mode. This is a psychological state where every financial decision is filtered through a lens of scarcity. In this mode, you lose the ability to plan long-term. You might stay in a toxic work environment or accept a low-ball job offer because the immediate need for a paycheck outweighs the risk of holding out for something better. At this stage, you aren't the one making the choices. Your lack of capital is making them for you. Moving from 0 to 20,000 requires more than just willpower. It takes a level of tracking and delayed gratification that feels constant and draining. This chart shows the raw math of that climb. If you save $1,000 every month and earn an 8% return, it takes 19 months of consistent discipline to reach $20,000. During these 19 months, the interest you earn feels negligible. You're doing nearly all the work yourself through your own labor and savings. This is why many people stop building wealth in the early stages. The effort required to save that principal feels high, while the visible financial reward from the market stays low. Research from Vanguard shows that even having $2,000 in emergency savings increases reported financial well-being by 21%. When that buffer reaches $20,000, covering 3 to 6 months of expenses, the psychological pressure lifts further. This buffer restores your cognitive bandwidth. You stop spending all your mental energy on wealth preservation and start using it for wealth building. Think about an unexpected expense, like a broken laptop. Without savings, this is a crisis that threatens your ability to pay rent. With $20,000 in the bank, it becomes a minor inconvenience you can resolve in an afternoon. The first return on this investment is the ability to think proactively. You finally have the mental space to evaluate new opportunities rather than just reacting to threats. Beyond the psychological shift, the math behind your money begins to provide genuine leverage. This is where the scale of your returns begins to impact your lifestyle. A 10% return on $2,000 is only $200, barely enough for a grocery run. But that same 10% return on $20,000 is $2,000. That is a month of savings generated without you having to work for it. This starts a chain reaction. Your second $20,000 doesn't take another 19 months to accumulate. It takes 17. Your initial capital is now earning its own keep alongside your monthly contributions. This effect accelerates as your portfolio grows. Once you reach $400,000, your investments can generate a new $20,000 every 5 months. The amount that originally took you nearly 2 years to save now happens automatically. At $20,000, your money stops being a static pile of cash and begins to function like an employee working on your behalf. Having this foundation changes how you budget. Agonizing over $3 coffees becomes a poor use of time because that decision no longer moves the needle on your net worth. You can now focus on macro decisions. You spend energy optimizing housing costs, increasing your salary, or refining an investment strategy that can shift your net worth by tens of thousands of dollars. This capital also provides walking away money. It changes the power dynamic with your employer because you are no longer dependent on the very next paycheck to survive. Negotiating from a position of strength often makes you a more assertive and effective employee. When you lose the fear of being fired, you're more likely to take on the high-impact projects that lead to promotions and higher pay. At this stage, wealth provides leverage. It gives you control over your career path and your time. Many people reach this $20,000 milestone and immediately sabotage their progress. They feel a sense of relief and decide to reward their discipline by putting that money toward a down payment on a new car. Spending $30,000 on a depreciating asset like a car has a massive opportunity cost. Over 20 years, that same $30,000 could have grown into over $200,000 in an investment account. This $20,000 is the seed capital for your entire financial future. Protecting it allows the compounding process to continue, providing the foundation for long-term financial independence.